Have you ever felt like the world is just losing its mind? Everywhere you turn, there's conflict, misinformation, and people being downright nasty. It's exhausting, whether it's politics, social media drama, or just everyday rudeness. It feels like staying calm and rational is harder than ever. And yet, here's something important to remember. This is not new. Think about Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and one of history's greatest Stoic philosophers. He lived in a time of war, betrayal, political instability, and even a deadly pandemic. Sound familiar? But despite all the madness around him, he didn't let it consume him. He worked tirelessly to stay grounded, to stay good, to stay in control of himself. That's where Stoicism comes in. It's not just a bunch of old philosophy. It's a practical guide for keeping your head straight when the world seems determined to knock you off balance. So, let's dive into 12 powerful Stoic principles that will help you stay strong, calm, and clear-headed, no matter what life throws your way. 1. Do not let chaos infect you. One of the hardest things in life isn't running a marathon or writing a book. It's not being consumed by the madness around you. Think about it. Every day you wake up and there's bad news. There's some scandal, some new controversy, some reason to be upset. It's tempting to get sucked in, to argue, to let the negativity pull you down. But what does that accomplish? Marcus Aurelius constantly reminded himself, you don't have to turn this into something. It doesn't have to upset you. The world is crazy. You don't have to be. The calmer and more rational you are, the better you can navigate the storm. 2. Ignore the noise. Stay on your path. Social media, the news, opinions flying in every direction. How do you know what's real? How do you know what actually matters? Seneca, another great Stoic, had the answer. Know your path and don't. Get distracted. Imagine walking through a crowded marketplace with people shouting at you from all directions. If you stop and respond to every single voice, you'll never reach your destination. That's what life is like today. Before you engage, ask yourself, does this actually affect my life? Is this worth my energy? Most of the time, the answer is no. The world thrives on distraction. You don't have to participate. 3. Keep a clear mind amidst misinformation. One of the biggest challenges today isn't censorship, it's information overload. Governments, corporations, and even social media influencers flood us with so much news, so many opinions, that it's easy to feel lost. One minute you believe one thing, the next minute you're doubting yourself. That's the point. Confusion is a tool of manipulation. The Stoics knew this trick. Orwell warned about it too. He said that seeing the truth right in front of you requires constant effort. So, how do you fight back? You slow down. You question everything. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Does this help me become a better person? Does this align with my values? If the answer is no, let it go." 4. Do not become like them. Ever argue with someone so stubborn, so rude, that you left the conversation angrier than when you started? We've all been there. And here's the thing. When we fight fire with fire, we burn ourselves too. The Stoics had a rule. Do not become like the people you dislike. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily, just because they are dishonest does not mean I must be. Just because they are cruel does not mean I must be. If you become bitter, angry, and resentful, they win. The best revenge? Staying true to your principles. 5. Accept that some people will never change. You ever meet someone who just never gets it? No matter how much you explain, no matter how reasonable you are, they refuse to listen. Marcus Aurelius knew that feeling all too well. His advice? Stop expecting people to change. He wrote, You can hold your breath until you're blue in the face, but they will keep being who they are. It's painful to accept, but some people will always be selfish, rude, or dishonest. So, what do? You move on. You focus on yourself. You teach by example. 6. Control what you can. Ignore what you cannot. Most of life is out of our control. The weather, the economy, other people's opinions. You can't change these things. Even Marcus Aurelius, the most powerful man in the world, knew that. What can you control? Your reactions, your effort, your mindset. Epictetus, another great Stoic, said, "Happiness and freedom begin with a clear understanding of one principle. Some things are within our control, and some things are not. The sooner you accept this, the freer you become." 7. Do not let anxiety rule you. Anxiety is a part of life. But the Stoics realized something powerful. Anxiety isn't caused by the world. It's caused by our thoughts about the world. Marcus Aurelius once wrote that he had a good day because he escaped anxiety. Then he corrected himself. No, I discarded it, because it was within me. Next time you feel anxious, ask yourself, is this worry useful? If not, let it go. 8. Slow down. Resist the urge to react. Ever send a text or email in anger and regret it later? We all have. Marcus Aurelius had a simple rule. Pause, think, then act. Before you react, take a deep breath. Ask yourself, is this worth my energy? Will I care about this in a year? Most of the time, silence is the best answer. 9. Keep a journal to stay grounded. Writing is thinking. Marcus Aurelius wrote Meditations, not as a book for the world, but as private notes to himself. Journaling helps you clear your mind, process emotions, and focus on what really matters. If you're feeling lost, write it down. 10. Choose your battles wisely. Not every fight is worth fighting. Epictetus said, "If someone tells you you're a fool, smile and move on. If you argue, now two people look foolish." Save your energy for things that actually matter. 11. Focus on teaching by example. Want to change the world? Be the example. Don't waste time complaining. Show, don't tell. If you hate dishonesty, be honest. If you hate rudeness, be kind. People learn by watching, not by being lectured. 12. Your job is to remain steady. At the end of the day, Stoicism is about one thing: staying steady. The world is chaotic. People will disappoint you. But your job? To be the rock in the storm. When the world is losing its mind, the best thing you can do is not lose yours. Because when you do that, when you stay strong, clear-headed and calm, you don't just survive. Final thought: be the rock in the storm. At the end of the day, you don't control the world, you control yourself. The news will always be overwhelming. People will always be stubborn, rude and selfish. Problems will always arise. But that doesn't mean you have to be consumed by it all. Think about the ocean during a storm. The surface is wild, waves crashing, winds howling. But deep beneath, stillness. That's what you need to be. The deep, steady part of the ocean, untouched by the chaos above. When others panic, you stay calm. When others lash out, you stay kind. When the world goes mad, you remain steady. That's Stoicism. That's strength. That's freedom. So the next time the world tries to shake you, take a breath. Remember these lessons. And remind yourself, I am the rock. The waves may crash around me, but I do not move. Now go live it.